How did you guys get back together again after the troubles that you had in November?
Well, first you have to understand that in November, I was not at the banquet. I was attending to my mother's funeral. She had passed away that morning, and I had headed back to Chicago. Everything that went on at the banquet, I was not present. Didn't go by hearsay. I called Spencer, talked to him about some things that transpired, and just told him that bringing a soft cooler of beer into a black tie event was unacceptable, and we're going to go our separate ways. How we got back together was in June, I believe it was, when Fram Prestone announced that they were pulling out of motorsports, where they had sold those divisions to an investor out of New Zealand. I committed to this team. I committed to Spencer and all of the crew guys on the team that we would race in 2013. Always believed that it'd be no problem finding a sponsor with the way the team performed or what was going on in the sport. That didn't happen. I'm a man of my word. I committed to run that team, and that's exactly what I am doing. I am running that team, continuing to look for sponsorship, as I did all last year and during the whole off season. And because of that commitment, I felt it was the right thing to do to bring that whole team back together, even though some of those guys have gone to work over on some of the other cars in my organization. But the heart and the soul of the team are still together, and we look to go out and perform at the very highest level that we can this year.
Anything to add?
Can we be more specific on a question?
Well, how did you approach Spencer when you decided to get back together again?
Called him on the phone, told him I'm going to do what I committed to do last summer, and I'd like to hire you back if you're willing to come back.
And did you get up off the floor pretty quickly there?
Well, guarantee I'm extremely excited to come back and race with Don Schumacher Racing. This is exactly where I've always wanted to be, where I've loved being for the past 2 years, coming down to the last race of the season, having a shot for the championship. It's the best of the best, and if I want to be anywhere, I definitely want to be racing with Don Schumacher Racing. So yes, I was ecstatic and for sure saying, yes, we want to put this team back together. I want to race with Todd and Phil and everybody over there with our old team. It's just been an amazing couple years, and I'm looking forward to having a great another year here in 2013.
Spencer, did you feel at any point after you guys parted ways that you had blown it, that you had thrown away, a great opportunity?
Well, obviously I look back on the situation, what happened with me at the banquet bringing the cooler, and realized that I've done a very wrong thing, and I know now that bringing the cooler to a black tie event was definitely the not professional thing to do. And I'm correcting my mistakes. I'm trying to make myself a better person and be a very good representative for Don Schumacher Racing and everybody over with my team. And I want to be a great person, a great racer, and then hopefully one day, just like Antron, a great champion.
Well, Don,
Bobby?
Don, you've had easier off seasons than this. Is that safe to say?
That's very safe to say. I mean, the beginning of the off season started with my mother passing, and I won't go into other family issues that have transpired that I'm still dealing with. I can truthfully say that there was no joy in what my teams accomplished that I personally could enjoy during the off season at all, with the other things that I've had to deal with that are all family related. So it still really hasn't sunk in what my team's accomplished last year, and hopefully I'll be able to relish in that as this 2013 season goes on forward.
Don Spencer, there have been a lot of accusations in the off-season. You have steadfastly said that you're innocent of those. How tough has it been for you to have to deal with that and not be able to proclaim your innocence and basically try yourself or
Well, it's been extremely tough having to deal with this entire situation with what I did in the banquet, with getting let go from Don, and going back and looking at my entire situation, at my life goal. This is my life dream. It's something I've always wanted to do since I was 4 years old, and I don't want it to end. And at that moment, it was, you know, hey, I lost the best ride I could ever have, and I'm correcting myself. I'm making myself a better person and dealing with all this other stuff that's out there in this world. And right now, I'm trying to look forward to this 2013 Mellow Yellow season, and trying not to look back on and dwell over bad things.
Well, Spencer, no one's ever had a problem with you, ever, from even back in your IHRA days. So it was really kind of a shock, I think, to all of us who have worked with you, that you were going to be at the center of some kind of controversy like this. Do you recognize the gravity that bad behavior has caused a domino effect? I mean, has that sunk in that it's not just you and Don, it's a lot of other people?
No, you're exactly right, and the actions that I took at the banquet with the cooler and all that stuff, it's definitely domino affected into a bigger situation. And by me trying to make myself a better person, by not doing those things, by not being a good representative for Don Schumacher Racing, by carrying a cooler in, I want to change that in myself. I'm making myself a better person. I want to, and all this that's happened this winter, it has made me a better person. Hopefully that'll make me a better racer, and one day hopefully a better champion.
And I mean, a bunch of us, a lot of people, PR reps, journalists, reached out to you to get you to tell your story, and if there was something that you wanted, if you wanted to proclaim your innocence of some of these charges, you had ample opportunity. And why did you not take some of us up on that opportunity to clear your name of at least some of the things that you might have been accused of? Or did you feel like you confused or you shouldn't speak? Who was advising you during all this?
I just felt that it was not the best thing in my condition, or not my condition, the best thing in the situation for it to happen, for me not to go out and start more things or say more things. I think it's better left alone, and things will play out. Everybody that knows the truth, and that's all that needs to matter. I mean, what happened, and we're going to look forward to the next season, to this season, which is right now, today. We're getting the start of it.
Well, let me ask Don real quick. You've said that you're funding this entire team out of your pocket, out of Don Schumacher or Schumacher Electric. If that's true, then why did Jack Beckman and Matt Hagan, for instance, have to go bring some more funding to the table when their sponsors went away, but Spencer doesn't have to do that? Or if he did, is somebody else helping underwrite this sponsorship, and they specified they wanted Spencer to drive? Because you had Tommy Johnson in the shop.
I look for all of my people, drivers, crew chiefs, crewmen, management people, to try to find sponsorship for DSR. So that isn't just a Jack Beckman or a Matt Hagan who are still driving DSR cars. I don't look for any one of them on an individual basis to find the sponsorship. The car is funded by Schumacher Electric Corporation. I made that decision this winter, but I made the commitment last summer to run the car. I wish you had sponsorship that you would bring to me to sponsor the car. Fortunately, Schumacher Electric is a great company, does a great job out there, and we need to market this new revolutionary battery charger. And I, as the president, the chairman of the board, and the CEO of the company, could make that decision individually. Do I hope that Spencer could find a sponsor somewhere and bring it forward, and we remove Schumacher Electric off the car and just keep an associate of Schumacher Electric on the car and put something else on the car? We're all working real hard at that every day, and I hope to be able to announce something here in the next month.
So no one at this point is underwriting that, and you're putting the shoe. There's no other partners. We heard there was a group of Texas businessmen, and we heard there were fishing buddies of yours who are helping underwrite the sponsorship. Is that correct? Schumacher
Electric is underwriting the sponsorship individually with my associates that are on the car. I mean, whether that be Matco Tools and Valvoline and those kind of things, that I certainly have other support there. But there is no other funding coming from anywhere else that is funding that car at this time.
So no other group who specified the Spencer has to be the driver?
If you want to believe all of the things that are on the internet, God bless you, you're in serious, serious trouble.
I'm just asking you.
I've answered.
Yeah. Well, you had Tommy Johnson. You told him when there was an opportunity to drive a car. I see keeping the team together, but you had other drivers. I'm sure the other drivers came to you and said, hey, I can bring some funding. Would you bring the third dragster out for me? I'm sure other drivers did that who did not have a ride at the time.
I only have so many teams, and if I have the ability to bring an 8th team out here and it's open for a driver, I would certainly look at Tommy Johnson, but I would look at other people out here also. The only driver out here that is the be-all in my mind, and that's because he's my son, is Tony. Everybody else comes second after him. And I make those choices individually. I hire the driver and the crew chief, and I decided to keep the team together, as I've told you. And I committed to Spencer and that whole team that they would race in 2013, and I'm doing what I committed.
What sort of preparation does this team have for the 2013 season? What kind of testing have you done?
Together, Spencer did not drive the car in Florida at the test session. Tommy Johnson drove the car in Florida at a December test session. The car ran 375 and is prepared to go out here and try to qualify at the pole and go from there. I have total confidence in the team. I have total confidence in Spencer's driving ability, so it should be no different than Pomona at the end of 2012.
What have you done in the meantime to prepare?
Well, as a driver, I always have my practice tree. I practice on to try and have better reaction times. But just mentally preparing myself, getting back into the groove of things, getting back in the car, making 1,000 mental laps in my head. I mean, sitting at night, making runs, going through the procedure. As a driver, the more runs you make, the better you are. Whether it be on the racetrack or going through it in your head at night, sitting there thinking about all the different situations. I've actually driven the Canopy car before, back last year at the Indy test session. I drove Tony Schumacher's car one run. So this is not going to be the first time for me to get the capsule closed up on me and get the car started. I'm looking very forward to getting inside this car and having a great time out here today and try and go down the racetrack and try and get #1 qualifier. I mean, that's what we're all here to do, is have fun, race, and smell some nitro, and that's what we're going to do this afternoon.
Why is Todd Okahara not on that car anymore? He and Phil were a great team. They were great, did a great job with Matt Hagan, and now all of a sudden Todd's in some creative position.
I guess the question I have is, I don't know why everybody wants to twist and turn everything. I promoted Todd because he's a great individual that has worked greatly with all of my other crew chiefs on a regular basis in 2011 and 2012. He's the only guy that I know in my organization that has the personality and the talent to walk into any one of the crew chiefs' lounges and work with them on a regular basis. I also want to put Phil Schuler out on his own and have him be able to perform as a crew chief. He deserves that opportunity. He is more than capable of doing that. But Todd will spend his time, especially here at the beginning of the season, in both the Schumacher electric transporter and the Matt Hagan transporter. As I brought Dickie Venables on, I mean, that's where he's going to spend the majority of his time. And as soon as I'm comfortable that those two cars are performing the way they're intended to perform, he's going to be spending time in all 7 of the rigs. That's what Todd is promoted to do. I don't spend that much time in Indianapolis. Some companies you can run from afar. I needed somebody to watch over everything actively there at the facility, day in and day out. Not only working with the crew chiefs, but I have a full fab shop there. I have a full machine shop there. and I needed one person that's in charge of it. That person had been Mike Green, but that's not fair to him that he also has to be a crew chief and also has to be over those people. Those are all of the reasons that I made that decision.
Why did Tommy Johnson tell you that he had resigned?
Tommy in December decided he no longer physically wanted to do the track test work. It hurt his back, it hurt him. He did not want to do it any longer. We talked about it before the test session in December. And I said, Tommy, I don't have another job for you. I'm not going to keep you on and just have you work in the parts room down there and the stock room where we're selling used parts out of. And then I have to hire somebody else for the racetrack information. So it's a decision you have to make. Either that's the job you have, or you need to go get a job somewhere else. And he just decided that he couldn't do that any longer. He physically no longer wanted to do the racetrack stuff. And you'd have to ask Tommy beyond that. But that's what he told me, and that's what he explained to me, that he just couldn't do the racetrack stuff any longer. So he wants to drive. And I think Tommy feels that if he spends more time trying to find a driving job and trying to find a sponsor, that he'll be more successful in getting back in the seat. I wish him nothing but the best. And I hope he feels the same way about DSR. I've talked to him and there's no ill will. He's not unhappy. At least that's what he's told me. So,
Spencer, have you faced your colleagues, I mean, the other drivers, or have you spoken with them? You were down at the test station working with Sidney Frigo, and so I'm sure you've seen a few guys around, but what's been their reaction, or have you had much reaction from them yet?
Obviously, yes, I saw a lot of the drivers out the test session in Florida. Obviously, everybody's happy to see me out there. It's all been good reaction. I've talked with Antron, talked with Tony, and then of course everybody else out there in our drag racing world. There's everybody's been very happy to see me, and that's the way I like to see. I want everybody to be happy because I like to be positive. I like to have the upbeat side of things. If someone's down, I try and bring them up. And that's the way that my other team members are, being all the funny car guys, or even Antron and Tony. And so we're all friends, and I'm glad to be back out here. Well, at the banquet, I was never mad or angry or upset at anybody. At the banquet, we were seated at the very back of the banquet hall, probably 10 feet away from the rear door, the side door. And like I said, I was never upset at Antron or upset at any driver or anybody in particular. I was upset at the situation. We came down to the last race of the year and just missed the championship 2 years in a row. I was not mad or angry or anything. I was just upset. I wanted to win. And so whenever at the banquet I needed to use the restroom, and as I got up, there were some guys that made some remarks to me, and that pushed my temper over the edge, so to say, and I acted out. And whenever I acted out, I didn't say anything bad, anything wrong towards Antron or anything like that. I would never disrespect him. He's a very good friend of mine. He's a great racer. He's a great professional champion now, and he's a friend of mine. And like I said, it was never directed towards anybody, and I didn't say anything to disrespect anybody like that. And I just want to be a better person and control my temper, control my anger, and I'm in counseling right now to actually make myself a better person. And by making myself a better person, by controlling my temper and anger, it'll make me a better person in life and a better racer. And hopefully one day that'll make me be to a point to where I can be a true champion. And so by sitting in counseling and speaking my problems or my thoughts, what I think is upsetting me, that will make me a better person. It's going to direct me, and it's going to push me in the right direction, and that's where I'm going right now, to be a better person.
There are accusations that a racially offensive word was used. Did you say that? Have you ever said that?
Obviously at the banquet and whatnot, no, I've never had used that racial slur or anything. Antron is a very good friend of mine. I respect him, like I said earlier, as a true racer, as a friend, as a champion. It's something that I just did not say. I've been around the sport and raced a whole bunch Actually, the last couple years, I actually have, past 4 years, I have a financial advisor, an accountant that is African American. Her and her husband's actually joined us at the races in Dallas and hung out in our hospitality. It's something that I don't, color or race or gender, it doesn't bother me. There is no difference. We're all here having fun, racing together. And I'm not racist or prejudiced towards anybody. Antron's a great friend of mine.